You know, if you look into the history of the pious, some people look to target them, but others look to learn. There were pious people that used to sit and read the Quran. For example, Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, he read the Quran, was it 60 times in the month of Ramadan? 60 times in the month of Ramadan. Even if he's looking inside, he must be in a hafiz, but even if you look inside, 60 times. But that wasn't only that. It wasn't like, okay, he did 60 times, it was Sehri, Iftari, Taraweeh, and then that's it. But no, he used to attend to his work, his masail, together with that, attending to family, attending to other ibadat. So, barakah in time is something we need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, and we have to hope that Allah ta'ala grants us that, inshaAllah. Sounds? Vacuum. In here. We need to put it off. Now put it. Okay. Khair. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us, Man sama Ramadhan imanan wa ihtisaban, غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. In another hadith he says, من قام إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Yani Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam is saying to us, your fasting and your standing in Taraweeh Salah is not going to go to waste. Yeah, it's going to guaranteed leave you when you celebrate Eid. Yeah, you'll notice people who celebrate Eid because they can eat again. Then there are those who celebrate Eid because they have had a joyous and spiritually uplifting month. And you will see the joy on their face is something very different as opposed to those who just want to eat or have that freedom. And that's because they have literally taken this month of Ramadan and they have said, Man sama imanan wa ihtisaban غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what does he say? That person who keeps a fast, and in that fast, every single bit of that fast, they have this yaqeen and this belief that iman, you know that iman is there, the belief, ihtisaban, and reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is there? That Allah will forgive my sins. Then when they end the month of Ramadan, they end it as if they're like a newborn baby, because they have cleansed themselves of sins. They have made sure that they have done everything to protect themselves from committing sin. I think, all right, okay, this must be the really special pious people, or you Molly Sabs. No, it's not. You'll be surprised that it can be anyone and everyone, and not necessarily those people who you think it is. It can be any one of us. You want to become a wali of Allah? My Ustad was mentioning last week in one of his talks when he came from South Africa. He said, you want to become a wali of Allah, just leave out sinning. You'll become the friend of Allah. Leave out sinning, and this is the time to practice now. For the younger generation, it's even better, because from now you make sure you avoid sin completely. Any sin comes your way, you know you're not going to get involved. And you will become the wali of Allah. And when you become the wali of Allah, Allahu Akbar kabira, then it's something totally different. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, last night when the Taraweeh, in the recitation, Moulana Hassan recited, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. That where we are learning about righteousness. We know about righteousness. What is this righteousness? Yeah, that we are supposed to be doing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, it's not just about turn your head this way, that way, Qibal al-Mashriq and Maghrib, facing east and west, and then you are just making some du'as and hoping Allah is going to accept from you. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about this. Right? And what does He say? وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ. What is righteousness? This goodness. What is this good qualities that Allah Ta'ala wants? First of all, you believe in Allah Ta'ala. Yeah? And believing is not just lip service. You have this yaqeen, you have this faith that you know what, it is Allah that is the one that gives me everything I have. If I go through a calamity, a difficulty, is because Allah wanted it to happen. Alhamdulillahi ala kulli hal. Yeah. And further than this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention, وَآتَ on your neighbors, on your family, on your relatives, on your near and dear ones. ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى, according to some narrations, translations, tafasir, it is mentioned, they are those people that are close to you, whether physically or literally, or by some other form. So one is you have a family member, they are close to you because they are a family member. But they could be living a couple hundred miles away. And the other is your neighbor. Any person that is in need, you are spending on them of your wealth. وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ, then you spend on the orphans, the needy, those who are being struck by poverty. We need to worry about them. Yeah? If Allah has given us more wealth than people who are struggling, then Allah has given it to us so that we spend on them. Inshallah. Yeah? We need to make sure we spend as much as we can. Yeah? Not so that people can say that the Muslims are the most generous. They are anyway. We know that. And besides, we're not doing it for title. Even if we were the least generous, who does our donation count by the most? Allah Ta'ala. Right? You can give your whole life savings away. But you made a big scenario about it, you made a big TV show about it, and now, you know, people are signing you up to see how they can sponsor you. Compared to that poor person who had £5 in their pocket, and that £5 was their meal, and they took out maybe £1 or £2 or even gave that whole amount away. That is more valuable. But they did it discreetly, showing only Allah Ta'ala. Not going and advertising that, oh, I'm struggling to make ends meet, but here I'm giving you my charity. Some people do that also. We've seen this. Na'udhu billah, Allah protect us. But with absolute discreet, you know, without telling anyone, without advertising to anyone, and giving our wealth solely and only for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what goodness is. Tomorrow we'll read, or the Hufaz will rather read, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You're not going to get to any goodness until you start spending from that what you love. You know what that means? Let's say, for example, there's a call that urgently coats are needed for the people that have been affected by some calamity somewhere, and it's absolutely freezing. Now you go home and you look for all your coats that, number one, you were hoping that would fit you, but then you're still thinking, hey, I might fit in there one day. Everyone has that, isn't it? I'm going to fit in there one day. Even if it's your shadi kurta. Chortu, yeah. Maybe your child will fit into it. What we are taught? Now, when you go home, you look at the clothing that is there, you look at the coats, and say, oh, that one there, that's the one I used to do my gardening, let's get rid of that. That's not goodness. That's not spending from that which you love. That's giving away that what you don't want. That's the least that you want. You didn't even want to let that go. Why? Because you're going to use it to do the gardening or washing the car. The real goodness is if someone says that, you know what, this call has come. We need a coat, for example. And what do? Immediately, you take off the one that you are wearing because it's the best one, not because you are doing gardening. Yeah? And you take it out and you give it. That is goodness. To the highest level. It doesn't mean that that other coat you gave won't be accepted. What it means is the reward and your closeness and your proximity to Allah Ta'ala will be better because of this one that you gave, which was something that was far better quality. May Allah Ta'ala accept from us whatever we spend, inshallah. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala also speaks about what else is goodness. وَالْمُوفُونَ بِأَحْدِهِمْ إِذَا أَعْهَدُوا. when you make a promise, you must fulfill that promise. Sometimes we sign a contract, yeah, you sign a business agreement, you sign a loan agreement, you sign a partner's agreement, yeah, but you don't fulfill your end of the bargain. When I say partners, partners in business, huh? That you are going to do, for example, you have so much share in the business or whatever it is, and then when it comes time to fulfill your end of the bargain, then you don't fulfill that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that, because this is something that Allah ta'ala does not like at all. You make a promise, you have to fulfill it. And this is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the command of Allah is what? That you uphold that promise. And the following of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is that when you have a meeting, you turn up 5 minutes before. You turn up earlier and you wait for that person. Look into the history and the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how he would wait forever, yeah, until someone turned up, because he had made an agreement with them. Why was he the most trustworthy? Why was he known as Al-Amin, As-Sadiq? Because he was trustworthy. There was a time where every mu'min, every Muslim, every believer was looked at that this person gives me their word, most trustworthy. Am I right? People used to say, a Muslim give me a word, I trust them, 100%. And now the very same people are saying, I will not trust a Muslim. Very sad, I get to speak to a businessman, now 2 weeks ago, someone was telling me, you know what he's telling me? The guy was in tears. He says, Moulana, I'm closing up shop, I'm closing up my business. I said, what happened? Yeah, I don't want to dampen anyone's spirit, but the reality is this. He says, one Muslim has done me over, because of that I have to close my business. What kind of insan claims that they are Muslim and then can behave like this? How can you say, I love Allah, or I love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then go and do something like this? Then he says lip service. Allah Ta'ala protect us from this. That we think that it's okay to rob someone because, and some people even justify it, oh don't worry, Allah will give you better, isn't it? So if Allah will give him better, why don't you leave his share behind and give your share to him also, so Allah will give you better. Allah Ta'ala protect us. Ameen. Another ayah which was recited last night, and I'm sure we are all familiar with it, in the second rak'ah, was يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. And then a few ayat later, وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب. Yeah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does he say? Tell my servants, or he's telling Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that you tell my servants that when they need something, what must they do? Turn to me. Today people are using different ways to try and make dua. One of our ustads said, you want anything, ask Allah for it yourself. No, people have that habit, Moulana, make dua for us. Yeah, sometimes opportune moments you take advantage of that. But otherwise we are taught to, you make dua for what you want yourself. You understand? Simple example. A person says, Moulana, make dua, I get a good car. Yeah, I make dua that you get a good car. I'm just using myself as an example. In my mind, I know it's a good car. In your mind, you know what's a good car. Now, my mind, good car comes to you and you say, Moulana, you made dua for me, but check out this piece of rubbish, man. You say, my friend, this is a Mark II Golf GTI, 2 liter, 8 valve. Why are you complaining? This is worth so much of money. You say, but I wanted the latest one. You understand? Whereas if you make dua for that specific thing yourself, you can put the specifications to Allah. Don't feel shy to do that. Inshallah. We haven't got much time. Let's make dua rather. It's a blessed day of Jumu'ah. Don't miss out. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa la aqibatul muttaqeen. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وشفيعنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful. Ya Allah, Ya Ummah, we are here, we are begging you. at this time of Iftaar, on this day of Friday, between Asr and Maghrib, just about to open our fast, Ya Allah, the blessed time according to the Sahaba, Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Ya Allah, we have our hands lifted up in front of you. Ya Allah, you know what our needs and desires are. We don't have the time in these few minutes to tell you about everything that we want, Ya Allah, but Ya Allah, you know what we want. Ya Allah, fulfill all of this for us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, if it's good for us, for our deen, our dunya and akhirah, Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, grant it to us, Ya Allah. If it isn't good for us, Ya Allah, protect us from it, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful. Ya Allah, we have different kinds of needs, be it personal, be it our health, be it financial, be it marital, be it communal, be it with our community, be it with our family members, be it with our relatives. Ya Allah, whatever our jaiz needs are, Ya Allah, fulfill them for us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, those that desire to get married, Ya Allah, grant them pious spouses, Ya Allah. Spouses that are going to be suitable and loving towards one another, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, those that have shared desires and shared ways and shared ideas, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, those that do not have children, Ya Allah, if children are good for them, if it is meant for them, Ya Allah, grant them pious offspring, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, those that have children, Ya Allah, make their children the coolness of their eyes, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, our most beloved children, Ya Allah, grant them hidayat, grant them tawfiq, Ya Allah, one day they will run our masajid and madaris. Ya Allah, grant them taqwa, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant them bir, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant them all the types of goodness that you desire for your bandas to have, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful. Ya Allah, our elderly that are in their senior years of their life, Ya Allah, so many of them are weak. Ya Allah, they are sad that they cannot fast in this month of Ramadan. Ya Allah, accept from them, Ya Allah, that sincerity that they have. Ya Allah, when they put their hands up to you, when they ask you for forgiveness, Ya Allah, let us be shamil and part of that forgiveness, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, grant us all beneficial knowledge, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us beneficial knowledge, Ya Allah. Grant us hearts that love you, Ya Allah. Grant us hearts that desire your pleasure, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us hearts that are content, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us the ability to see only that which is good, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us the ability to hear that which is only good, Ya Allah, and that which is pleasing to you, Ya Allah. Grant us the ability to speak and say only those things which are pleasing to you, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful. Ya Allah, grant us forgiveness for our minor sins and our major sins, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful. Grant us the goodness of this world, qabr and akhirah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us the leaders of the pious, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us of those who establish our 5 times daily salah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us of those who recite the noble Quran on a daily basis, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us of those who recite and make dhikr of your blessed names and send durood upon our beloved Master Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and ask your forgiveness on a daily basis, just like how Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam did, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful. Ya Allah, grant us protection from the deceptions of shaitan, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us protection from carrying out those things that shaitan wants us to do, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us protection from committing minor sins and major sins, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, whatever sins that we may have committed in our life, Ya Allah, we ask you today, right here, right now, in your house, Ya Allah, for forgiveness. Ya Allah, please forgive us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, if you have to forgive us, who is going to question you, Ya Allah? Ya Allah, there's no one to question you. There is no one to ask you why you forgave us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, the marhumeen in their graves, Ya Allah, if any of them are going through any type of punishment, Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, if you have to grant them maghfirat, if you have to remove their difficulties, if you have to grant them goodness, Ya Allah, if you open up the grave to paradise, Ya Allah, there is no one that will question you, Ya Allah, but at least your creation will become happy, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make your creation happy, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please your creation, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, forgive our shortcomings, Ya Allah. Unite our hearts, Ya Allah. Remove disunity and enmity and hatred from our hearts, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, remove everything that is bad from our hearts, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant us all the goodness of this world, the goodness of the hereafter, the goodness of the qabr. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful. Ya Allah, So many people that have passed away, Ya Allah, they were young, they had so many hopes and desires to do so much of good. Ya Allah, accept from them and make it a means of their forgiveness, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, there are so many people that are ill in hospital or ill at home. Ya Allah, like our brother Asif, who has personally and specifically requested dua that he gets shifa. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, through all of his illnesses. Ya Allah, he still has hopes in you. Ya Allah, we have hope in you. Ya Allah, grant him and grant all those who are mareed shifa, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant them complete shifa, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant complete shifa, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, heal our wounded hearts, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, rejuvenate our hearts with iman, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, rejuvenate our hearts with the goodness, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, rejuvenate our hearts with full faith in you, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, strengthen our iman, Ya Allah. Make our fasting in this month accepted, Ya Allah. Make our sadaqat, our zakat, our lillah, our khairat, all our charity and good deeds accepted by you, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, accept our fasting, accept our performance of salah, accept our tilawah of the Quran, accept all the good that we do, Ya Allah, and grant us forgiveness for our shortcomings. Remove them as if we haven't carried out any shortcomings, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, those that serve the ummah wherever they may be, Ya Allah, be it here locally, be it further afield, Ya Allah, be it in the food banks, be it in the charity sector, be it in the masajid, in the madaris, Ya Allah, anyone that is making khidmat of any type, Ya Allah, grant them full reward and recompense in this world, qabr and akhirah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant them barakat and blessings in their homes, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, Ya Allah, accept all of our du'as that we have made today. Ya Allah, whatever we have forgotten to make dua for, Ya Allah, fulfill those things for us also, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, most kind, most merciful, whatever jais, desires we have, fulfill them for us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, on the day of judgment, raise us with Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ya Allah, raise us with our book of deeds in our right hand. Ya Allah, let us cross the bridge of Sirat at the speed of lightning, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, let us enter into Jannah through whichever door we desire, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, let us enter into Jannah with our family, with our friends, our relatives and our near and dear ones, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, grant hidayat to the whole of mankind, and Ya Allah, for whoever hidayat is not this time, Ya Allah, you destroy them, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, you destroy the enemies of Islam and grant us all ikhlas, Ya Allah. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. 6:27 today? 27. اللهم لك سمت وبك آمنت وعليك توكلت وعلى رزقك أفطرت فتقبل مني. So once a fast has been opened, the dua that we should recite according to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, repeat after me. ذهب الظمأ وابتلت الأروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. آمين. بسم الله.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
That mic.
أشهد أن لا إله
Not now, later.
إلا الله
It's clear.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
But finding that balance, isn't it?
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة والصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام تبارك ربنا وتعالى يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير برحمتك.